Good morning. We are talking about percentages today in Investigation 5. And you can read a newspaper, you can look in books. We use the percentages all the time because it gives the person a great understanding of what it looks like as far as parts of a whole. So let's begin. A part of a whole can be named with a fraction, a decimal, or with a percent. And so here we have our square, and this is half of the square is shaded. We can agree on that. 50 hundredths of the square is shaded, 50 out of the 100 boxes. Or we can say 50% of the square is shaded. When we use the word percent, it means per 100. So when you hear that, you automatically can think fraction form. Here we have 50 out of 100. So with denominators. The nice thing is when we're learning percents, there's a very close correlation between money and percents. So 50 cents is half of a dollar. 50% is half of a whole. We have 1/10 of a dollar is 10 cents. Well, guess what? We have 1/10 shaded. That would be also viewed as 10%. So let's review a few things about percents and fractions. A quarter is what fraction of a dollar? We know that there are 4 quarters in a dollar, and so we know that out of a quarter there's 25 cents, and the fraction is 25 out of 100, or we could say 1/4 of a dollar. Those are both equivalent. What percent? A quarter is what percent of a dollar? Well, sorry, Mrs. Daugherty kind of gave it away. When 1/4 is 25%. A dime is what fraction of a dollar? We know that there are 10 dimes. We could also say there's 10 out of 100, or we can even say there is 0.10. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but once we find that, then a dime is what percent of a dollar? I'm looking here. It's 10 out of 100, and we draw the little symbol like this. A penny is what fraction of a dollar? We know that a penny is 1 cent, is one cent out of a dollar. So we know that a penny is going to be 1%. A nickel, fraction of a dollar. We know that there are 20 nickels for thing. So we know that a nickel is going to be 5 out of over 100. So what percent would that be? 5%. Now you're starting to see a pattern here. When 5 out of 100, 5%. That means per 100. Now, estimating percents of a whole. If you get 100% on your test, you've gotten everything correct. If you've gotten 50%, or you've drank 50% of your juice, then we know that that's half. So here's a line of reference that you can look what 20% looks like compared to 80%. This glass so using this, estimate the best choice. Oh, we're looking at this. It says this glass is about what percent full? Well, I'm looking at this and I'm saying it's pretty small. I know it's not 80%. 80% would be almost the full thing. It's not 60%. There'd be almost half. 40%, a little less than half. We can go and we clearly can see that it is a 20%. We also say this glass is what percent full? It looks like it's almost full. When it almost full would be right up at the top. So we know that it's not going to be 100% full. That's not correct. We know that it's more than half because half would be right here. So based on that, I think our best is to say it's 75% full. Now let's look here at our next glass. We look and we say, oh, this is about where halfway is, and we use that in relationship. It's a little less than half. Is it a lot less than half? Because right here would be about what I would think for 20%. So we know that it is not 20%. We also know it's not 60% or 80%. So it looks like it's about 40%. So we're going to put B and circle that. Okay, this glass is about what percent full? Now this would be 100%, and so that gives us what's our next option? 80%? Definitely. I'm going to circle that and say D. Now find the remaining percent of a whole. Because it's all 100, the whole is parts of 100. So if you have 25% right here, this white part is going to be 75%. So if 40% of the circle is shaded, what percent is not shaded? And we have a little equation. 40 minus unknown percent is 100%. 40 plus an unknown percent is 100%. We know, because we're math, we know our math facts, we know that this percent that's not shaded is 60%. 75% of the figure is shaded. So 75 plus something equals 100%. What percent is not shaded? That is 25%. If 80% of the answers were correct, then what percent of the answers were not correct? You see where this is going. We say 20%. Now, if the chance of rain is 10%, then what is the chance that it will not rain? 90%. Okay, comparing percents to 1/2. Now, this is really a fun thing. First off, 48% compared to 1/2. We remember that 50% actually equals 1/2. So because we know 48 is less than 50%, we're going to say that 1/2 is greater. And we're going to write 40% is less than 50%. Here we have 52% and 1/2. We know that 52% is greater. So we're going to write the symbol, it is greater. And we need to look at this chart for our next one. 50% and 1/3. Now I'm looking here. On our chart, you can see 1/2 is significant, is larger than 1/3. And so if this is 50% and this is 1/3, we know that 1/2 is greater than 1/3, or larger, and so 50% is going to be greater than 1/3. Now, if it were 2/3, this would not be true because we would color this in and you could see, oh yeah, 2/3, much bigger. 40% of, let's move to number 20, 40% of the students in the class were boys. Were there more boys or girls in the class? So if 40% were boys, then we know that there were more girls in class since, see, and we know that this is going to be 60% because 40% is less than half, and more than half of the students were girls. Now, finding 50% of a number is pretty It's pretty slick. 50% of a number means that you divide the number in half, or you divide it in by 2. So how many ounces is 50% of a cup? They're making us work here. You know what? And I'm going to pause and start on, we're going to pause right here and continue on in part 2.